Hi friends, this is Renee Keese with Carolina Creative. Welcome back. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with card making ideas for you today, and I am working with Christmas cards again today. I'm going to do a mashup with a couple different stamp sets. I'm really focusing on this Peaceful Greenery. It's out of the Peaceful Garden suite. So I'm going to show you how to use this cool hybrid embossing folder. I am going to use a sentiment out of the Traditions of Christmas and the banner label out of this set as well, and a scrap piece of paper from this suite. So like I said, I'm kind of mixing and matching. You'll get the idea as I get going. I love this hybrid embossing folder. If you've never used a hybrid folder, it both embosses and die cuts at the same time. So this is the die out of the Peace on Earth set, or the Peaceful Garden suite. And I'm going to put it all into this cool folder and do it all at once. So here we go. When I slide in the die, it actually kind of locks into position. If I've got the right side. And let me flip this over to see if I picked this up correctly. Nope, it's supposed to be here. I thought so. I had it facing me. I'm hoping I don't start coughing. I have picked up a head cold. Yeah, there it goes. It slid right into the grooves. So I know that's now locked into place. And now I'm going to position my paper, and I am going to use the lines that are across the top here. That helps me get it in straight. And I know that once I've got that lined up, it's going to have the imprint evenly distributed on both sides. Actually, on all four sides, if I look at it from left to right as well as top to bottom. So now I'm going to close this up, and I did pull my embossing machine over here, but I forgot to bring the gray plate. Here we go, gray plate for this because of the hybrid embossing folder. So let me flip my camera down. Here's my workspace and the die that I'm working with. So I've got the embossing folder. I've got the folder here. I'm going to put it in with the crease side first and crank this through, and then we'll see the magic, because this really is magic. So all I need is this piece, and now I can move this out of my way. And you can see my workspace, and I'll start going over what I've pulled out for today. Now, so look at that. Now, this can be used for another card. You know, this is a great label. You know, you've just got an extra piece for another card. I'm going to set that aside for now and set the embossing folder aside. So I've got a very pretty die cut here. What I'm going to work with, I've picked out, this was a piece of scrap paper left over from Traditions of Christmas, and guess what? It fits perfectly behind there. So now I've got this big, bright, bold, pretty paper with the leaves around it. I'm really focusing on those poinsettias. So that is my front. I was trying to decide, I have die cut again out of the Peace on Earth set, just these leaflets, deciding, do I want to match my Night of Navy card base here? I was trying to pull out the dark colors. See, maybe I did get Secret Sea. That looks like Secret Sea. So therefore, I think that's too dark. I may go with the Pool Party, which is what's in the leaves here. So now I'm matching what's in the paper. Yeah, I'm liking that better. All right. So the one other thing that I die cut is from the Traditions of Christmas, and this is the banner die. So I'm going to get that set aside, and I'm going to stamp on this. So I'm about to do all my stamping for this card. Stamp my insert, stamp my sentiment, and then you'll see I am ready to start assembling. So here we go. Here's my insert. I'm going to put Merry Christmas on the inside, and I think I'm going to do it in red. Because of the red poinsettias, I really want this to be bold. So I am going to stamp, and this is, here we go, Merry Christmas, right off of the traditional label set. All right, 1, 2, 3. Transfer that ink. There we go. And I'm done with the red. The next thing I want to do is also go ahead and stamp my banner, since it's right here. And again, I'm using the Sending Love and Joy right out of that set. It was just easy. So I've got very dark ink to go on the red. Now, I've embossed some of these in white, and that's a really cool look. They're just, I mean, other than a few white poinsettias, there's not a lot of white here. So I didn't want to call that much attention. So I felt like using Secret Sea, Night of Navy, any of these dark colors right on, there we go, on the red banner was going to be a good look. Now, the one other thing, I do want to add a little bit of greenery inside here. And I was wishing there was a stamp set that went with this to stamp these types of leaves, but there's not. So I resorted to an older stamp set. I think this is from last year, Seasons of Green and Gold. And all I'm going to do is put, you know what, I'm going to do it right down the side here. I like the spray going this way and a little bit of greenery up here, down there, and then maybe I'll put a splash. Yep, that's what I needed. I just wanted something kind of fun on the inside. Let's make sure I don't have ink I'm going to pick up. So I'm done stamping. A sentiment, a little decoration on the inside, and a sentiment. That's all I'm stamping today. The rest, I'm getting all the paper and the embossing, carry the card. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put my insert inside. Here we go. Like that. And just make sure I have a nice blue border all the way around. It's a little crooked, so that's the benefit of liquid glue, and I didn't press it down yet. All right, positioned. So now, what I think I'm going to do is just go ahead and attach this. It's a tight little fit, but it does fit. But I want to make sure I've got it in the right place. So let's just put a little bit of, here we go, Stampin' Seal on there to hold it. And then, it didn't hold that too good, did it? Okay, there we go. And then put the seal all the way around. So I'll be ready in one, it's stuck to my hand, and it's causing it to come undone. So make sure my fingers are not in the adhesive. Here we go. And then make sure I've got all sides within my, there we go. Now that it's lined up, flip it over and line it up on the card. And again, I want that pretty blue border to show through. So I think it's a bold choice of colors using the Secret Sea. Maybe a little non-traditional. I don't know, you tell me. So I'm going to put the Sending Love, and I may have to trim these little sprigs. I like that. The poinsettia pokes out. I've got some of the white poinsettias, and I've got a little bit of greenery here. I am going to trim, I think this one on the, well, that's the longer side. That's okay. I needed to trim one of these, so I'm just going to make this shorter and make it poke out. All right, that's my plan. Now, I just had my, well, let me go ahead and start assembling. I was going to pop off, and I can't find, there they are. So I can't find my dimensionals, and I knew I was tidying up my workspace right here. I'm due for a massive cleanup of my craft room here. I've got just too much stuff out. I was kind of waiting till I was done with Christmas, and that way I could put away all the papers that are out. I must have 8 or 9 stamp sets out right now because I'm mixing and matching and doing some personal cards and just a bunch of different projects. And I thought, well, there's no sense doing a massive cleanup until I'm ready to pack all of that away. And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. All right, so let me attach this first. And I wanted to put it on an angle. And now, I got that attached to one of the dimensionals, but what I wanted to do was put glue dots on here with some little dabs of glue. And I want to say glue dot because they're not glue dots. Dabs of glue because I do want this to lay flat. And it is and guess what? When I pulled it off, that's okay. Part of it was still attached to the dimensional, but you'll never see it. It was what was tucked way down there. So now let me, again, just little dabs of glue. I really don't want a lot because it'll ooze out everywhere. But I will, if it's a little shiny, I can fix that with my Wink of Stella, which is what was in my plan all along. So again, I may have to just rip off that little strip and now put this on here. Yeah, I didn't want it to go off the card, but up the side. There's that. Now, I don't know if I need this or not. I felt like this card did not need added bling. It doesn't need rhinestones or gems or anything. I mean, you could do that. I just felt like it was pretty busy. This is the ribbon that comes with that Peaceful Garden Suite. And this is actually Misty Moonlight, but it does coordinate with everything else on here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of Wink of Stella to these leaves so that they have a little shimmer, and it'll make them stand out more than the design behind them, which is just more leaves. Make sure I've got that down flat. So the leaves will have a little shimmer. I'm going to give a little shimmer to some of these poinsettias. The gold foil is really pretty, so that it doesn't need a lot. I'm not going to put anything on my sentiment. You've seen me. Sometimes I will add Wink of Stella, and I just don't feel like it needs it on this card. Okay, so I used the hybrid embossing folder, and you see how quickly that went. I die cut the opening and then put a pretty piece of paper behind it. And that was really my focal point. Did I need to add these sprigs? Probably not. Just adding a sentiment would be enough, maybe with the bow. Put a sentiment on the inside and then just, you know, look through your stash, but find a little something to coordinate and put something of interest in on the inside. So that's my tips for today. I think the focal point here is the Peaceful Greenery. I was about to say Peaceful Garden. Peaceful Greenery hybrid embossing folder, which in one run through the machine die cuts and embosses. I love it. So if you like the products and the projects you've seen here today, you can find me at Carolina Creative, hashtag Carolina Creative, or I'm on the Stampin' Up! Network. It's Renee Keese at StampinUp.net. And this was the other stamp and die cut that I was using out of the traditional label. So those were my products today. Stay tuned for the next video. I appreciate you.